That.
What was that, McFaithful? I can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. We're gonna let everyone trail in here. We got about 59 queued up right now, so give a couple more minutes to the folks in the back. Make sure we get our officers up here into the foreground to be able to speak if necessary, and get a couple more joining in now. So this is obviously our July guild meeting where we get a couple of topics to touch on, general guild things, and then we'll get into the raid related topics before we do our Q&A, and then we will wrap it up for today. That is going to take us up to raid time for 3 of our teams, so we'll be mindful of that. I know I've been having people out of here with like moments before raids start. So we will do our best to be a little shorter winded today. Yeah, the data was wrong on the title card. Yeah, that's true. Hold on. I don't think I can actually adjust that midstream. We'll have to live with it. I'll do that in post production. Thanks for the catch, Damien. So the joke for this week, we actually had we spun the wheel, that was the wheel bot in Discord to choose who was going to tell our joke, and Sixrex is our joke for this. Well, not Sixrex isn't our
Nah,
joke.
that's
Sixrex
crazy.
is telling our joke for this month's meeting. Go ahead, Six.
That's crazy. Can you guys hear me?
You can hear you. Yeah, you're coming through.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be the joke and I'll tell a joke. Why did RT4 wipe in Molten Core? I'll wait, somebody.
Why?
Because Hercule thought that fire resistance was a personality trait.
Damn. Is Hark here to even defend his honor? Yeah, there he is. There he is in the chat. All right, good. Herc, go tell that joke to ChatGPT and say you want to retaliate. That was good. Thank you, Six. Did you have one on deck? We got about another minute before we'll get going.
What do you call 3 resto druids? Yeah, what do you call 3 resto druids humped up together? A threesome.
Oh,
That was
that's
my
actually
FMB.
Yeah. Okay. Threesome. That's all right. We're gonna start the meeting now.
You asked
All
for
right.
it.
That was good. No, thank you. That's the best way we can think to kill time. So I appreciate it.
Damien Thorne is correct. The threesome is not canon yet.
So just to remind folks of the format for this as we kind of go through things, I do have chat up generally as we're going through this, but it is difficult for me to go through the slides and respond moment to moment. Obviously, professors are here monitoring, so to the extent that they're able to, they might be able to catch things, but just as per usual, hold questions. We do have the Q&A at the end. I am going to try and speed through what is a shorter format slideshow. I think we've got 27 slides to get through, so about 10 less than usual, and a few things to go over. So with that, we'll get started here. The agenda on what we're going to cover. So the first half will be the leadership updates, Discord updates, word about forums. We have our biggest ass award, and then month in review. We'll switch over to raid specific topics, talk a bit about kind of what was announced with the AQ launch between the last meeting and this meeting. Obviously, Phase 5 is live, though AQ is not. And so there's still a little bit of prep that some of our folks need to do ahead of that, and we want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So we'll kind of review some of that information. The Q&A session will obviously be last. So one thing to note on preceptors here, no changes, but we did actually just get word today from CastJet that he had a medical emergency come up. He'll be out of contact. We're not sure exactly how long this will be the case, but he won't be able to kind of communicate with us directly for right now, and so Mumbo, in fact, is going to take over as acting preceptor of guild operations in the meantime. So obviously, all of our thoughts are with CashJet for smooth recovery, quick healing, and look forward to having him back. But in the meantime, the business at Guild Ops continues, and so if you had anything going on related to CashJet or guild operations, I'm going to ask that you take the time to follow up with McMumbo. If CashJet was your point of contact, you'll want to talk to McMumbo, and if Beardong was, you'll be able to still communicate with him. And that will segue pretty nicely to our next topic, which is promos, because we can talk about the tree changing a little bit. And Samius has just been promoted to the administrative clerk position, so he'll also be helping in with Guild Ops. So we're grateful for the timing of this to have worked out, where we have an extra pair of hands there, which will help us from missing a beat, hopefully. So congrats, Samius, to you for your promotion. Appreciate you willingness to get involved. I know Bear and CastJet are looking forward to working with you, so congratulations to you. The other position that we just opened up, this is new to the guild, so you may not know as much about it, but we just put in 2 raid coordinator positions working directly with Minari in the strategic planning department. Those 2 are Vanilla Ice and Fat Dump, so congratulations to you both on your promotions to professors of strategic planning. This new raid coordinator position, for those of you who may not be aware, is going to work as our conduits to link our raid leaders in particular together to kind of equalize things across the 5 raid teams to make sure that the strategies being put in place are those that represent what we understand to be best practices, that guild policies are still working on the ground for our teams. And things like that, and so they'll, also will be helping out coordinating those 20-man off nights to make sure that we're not missing anything on those. Quick word on that, as I just stumbled into mentioning it. Minari has just posted an announcement, not I think an hour or so ago, about the ZGs. Because of the war effort, because of the Scarab Lord farm going on, we are going to have to postpone our ZG pickups until the 25th. With the anticipated AQ launch, the AQ20s will start on the 23rd, and ZGs will return on the 25th. Okay, so just keep that in mind as we're going forward. That's why those signups there will not be active right now. No other changes on this screen, which is nice. This is our all positives from last month to this month in terms of leadership transition. So that was very nice to see. We had a very solid June to July transfer and entry into Phase 5. So we're looking forward to that. Next mention, just for our new folks, just going to flash this. I won't spend too much time talking about it, but reiterate, I have an open door policy to all of our members. If you're not sure where to find information, where to look for it, you're always welcome to message me. I will tell you, I may refer you to another person. I may tell you where to get that information. I may not handle it myself, but I promise that I will get back to you with that, at least to let you know where you can get the information or who you can talk to about it. If I don't get back to you, it's not because I'm too busy to care or because I don't care. It might be just because I missed it. I invite you to please just ping me again. I won't feel like you're annoying me. Maybe wait 24 hours before that's the case. But if I haven't gotten back to you, certainly in a couple of days, never feel like you can't reach out a second time. I know I try and scroll back through my Discord regularly just to get review to make sure I didn't miss anything, but sometimes I am a fallible human being and will not catch a message. So just please, I always feel terrible if somebody messages me on an unrelated issue and I come to find a month later that I had ignored you on something. So please, it make me feel better in the long run for you to follow up. But our departments and what they cover are all here. So preceptors, the same spiel that I just gave you about everything that I just told you that I can do, your preceptors can do that for you as well. Obviously, Cashet would not be a good resource right now while he's out on medical, so feel free to go to Minari and McMumbo. And then professors are really good to handle anything human resources related or anything as it pertains to their department specifically. So strategic planning handles the rating, that's my biz, 60 upgrades, player developments, class coaching, and then event coordination, and then guild operations does guild bank requisitions and applications. So just bear that in mind. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Getting over a little bit of a summer sinus infection. So the long-winded here. I promise. I told you I'd keep it short. I'm going to endeavor to do that for my own sake. I put this slide up in every single meeting that we've had just to remind folks that you may be missing things in Discord that you didn't know you were missing. This is the process that you would follow to make sure that you have access to all of our channels. So just remember, I recommend doing this periodically, monthly certainly, weekly is great. If you want to go above and beyond and do it daily, by all means. But to make sure you have access to all of our channels, this is the way you want to go about doing it. Go to channels and roles, click browse channels, and follow the category in every category down the line. The next thing, as we're picking up some speed here, is the server guide's been up to date now for about 2 months. One page that's not here on that list of 4 is the FAQ page, which is now live. There's about 104 FAQs. So if you're a new member, I highly recommend you take a deep dive into the server guide. I recommend starting with the rules and ranks. That's going to tell you about how our rank system works from preceptors down to novices. It's going to tell you our community standards and the things that we require. Raid rules and requirements, if you're interested in raiding, the sooner the better to read those. Anybody who's in Adept Scholar Society, meaning if you're 50 plus, you should fill out a raid application immediately. Get yourself into the pipeline. Don't wait until you're already raid ready to fill out that application, because you'll still be waiting. So get that process started sooner than later. And then for all of the stuff, if there's ever been a resource we've talked about or discussed, you want to go to Links, Apps, and Resources. That has our BWL manual, our ZG manual, our AQ 40 and 20 manual, Guild Bank requisition form. I mean, everything's there. In fact, if you want to know what everything really means, it's all of this stuff with the exception of number 4. 4 is not is no longer posted on there. That's the only one that's on this list that's not there currently. But you can get the raid application on that as well. You can get our YouTube links, which include monthly meetings, including this one, which will get posted. All of the links to our TMB guides. The Guild org chart that was posted previously will be there. So if, for instance, if you were interested in checking the class coaching, and for who your class coach was, you'd go to the server guide, links, apps, and resources, and you could find the Guild org chart that was on that prior page. Now we get to the fun stuff for first half of the meeting. We're going to start now, before we get into our month in review, with the biggest ass award. So last month we had Hits, when we thank him again for his tenure for the last month with the biggest ass. This month the award goes to none other than Munishin. So we want to congratulate Munishin on his selection as the biggest ass for the month of July into August. Want to thank him for all of his work in the guild. He's been incredible during the Scarab Lord farm. He's a generous person with his time and his talent, helping our newer members to learn the ropes. And so we're very happy to recognize him for this month, and want to thank him very much. And as we have done for this, I believe, is our third month doing so, we have a couple of responses that we're that we had prompts that we sent to have him answer. So you can hear in his own words when we asked him what it means to be a member of the Adept Scholar Society. He told us that ASS has meant a lot to me. This is the first time in my WoW career where I really feel like I belong in a guild and am not just another face on the raid team. Through this community, I've been able to not only become a much better player, but have made some new lifelong friends I can't wait to meet in person. And I know a lot of our warrior pack in Raid Team 1 is getting the Airbnb for ASCON when that comes about. So I know he truly does mean that. And our next question we asked him was, what's your favorite memory in the guild? And it's a recent one that many of you might have been a part of. He said it's incredibly difficult to choose just one, but with recency bias, I'd say early on in the bug farm in Silithus, some of the PvP over at the hives with everyone was a blast. We wiped a pack of 8 of them over and over in a room in Zora. It may be mindless farming, but the voice call and the people in it have made this a truly enjoyable experience. And I just have to echo that in particular for those of you who have been deep into the bug farm with us, that very much so. It has been enjoyable, not for the task itself, but because of those of you who have been in those Discord calls. I know even if I'm out there, I'm not always able to be in them, but for the time that I have, it's been really a pleasant experience getting to know many of you a little bit more personally and kind of interact. And I know a lot of people would echo that, being able to meet people outside of their typical raid teams or perhaps outside of their typical group of players that they'd be used to playing with. So really it's been a pleasure. So I echo Moon's sentiments here, but we want to congratulate Moon again. We'll take a look at our wall of ass. Going back from February, we have Herc, Samius, Pagani, Z-Talk, Hits, and now Moon. And we want to thank again Hits for all of your work and recognize you for last month. So congrats again to you, Moon. And now I've reordered the PowerPoint so we can keep on an upswing here, and we go back to our month in review rather than going into Discord perms and things like that. So we're gonna keep the upswing going. And now, first and foremost, we have to talk about the AQ launch and pursuit of Scarab Lord. So this is a couple of things to note. First off, I understand that it was unexpected and not welcome by all to have our Tuesday raid night be kind of repurposed for the Scarab Lord farm. But I do want to thank you all for by and by understanding the need where we have committed to such a large endeavor of all of these Scarab Lord farms. And so I do appreciate everyone's ability to be flexible and to be cognizant of the fact that we're chasing a one-time only achievement that takes a village to make it happen. And as I said last night in a depth chat, it was a real privilege to see everybody kind of come together. The effect we had taking over those. And in current status update, we have 2 Scarab Lords in this guild finished right now, currently at 100%. So both Vayne Mage and McMumbo are done. We have Stabby sitting at 50% as of a couple hours ago when I last had a check-in on them. And we have both are in the wings ready to start his ascent to 100%. Here's the thing. The war effort is likely going to finish tonight or tomorrow, depending on the last final hours of this. There's a couple of people who are not good enough to go for Scarab Lord and are too impatient to wait for AQ and are pushing for the content release it at any cost. And so that means that the pressure is going to be on for us to complete those 4. I'll take that moment to recognize that we've had a conversation with Jordan, and we recognize at this point that it's our path to 5 has kind of been foreclosed just based on the competition. We didn't necessarily anticipate in the hives, so we are going to push for 4 though. Our information from around a couple of servers, this is a Scarab Lord server in particular being reported to, would say that if we can complete 4, we will have double what every other guild has. There's only 2 other guilds that we've been able to locate that are going for 2 Scarab Lords. But many of them are capped because of their raid capacity, where we have 5 raid teams to push this through. Most guilds don't have that raiding capacity that we do to allow for more candidates, even if they could farm the fragments for it. So we are really benefited by our scale and organization, and so we really do want to try and double the next guild down and see 4 finished. That means that I can't say enough that when you have downtime, free time, please join us in Silithus. I know people must be so tired of killing bugs, but please stick with us as we try and finish these last 2 folks. I know everybody wanted to see the job done, but now we've got to do the work to get the job done. And so I will say your time is more valuable than anything that you can give us. In fact, I was going to mention that, you know, if you don't have time to participate, if you wanted to send donations of fragments, you know, they are something that can be purchased on the auction, but the price of those fragments is not worth buying if you have time to farm. So the best thing that you can do is to come out and join us out there for the farm. If you are willing to donate fragments, you feel free to send them to Scholar Bank. I'd prefer not receiving gold donations for this, though, just because of TOS, and we don't want to run into any concerns. In fact, we've had some people, we suspect some folks with some ill intent infiltrate our Discord to find out our Scarab Lord recipients, and have been trying to spam them with from gold seller alts with like 200 gold to their mailbox, hoping that they'll do open all and collect money and catch a 14-day ban and no longer be able to do this. So keep in mind, if you are found out that you are one of the people doing that, the consequences will be severe. If you're one of the people doing that and you're not part of this guild, congratulations, you can try some tricks to do to try and get somebody to catch a 14-day ban. Wait to see what happens when I mobilize 1,000 people to retaliate on you for it. So don't do stupid shit. And keep up with the farm, though, folks. Anybody else, please, if you're able to get out there, please help. I will be out there tonight. Raid Team 1 has a raid that'll run directly after this meeting, all the way through to midnight, at which point I will be heading to Silithus. I will be grabbing a bottle of rum, and I will continue the FAQ portion of this meeting with perhaps some more lubricant for honesty. If you want to enjoy your time while farming, I'll be out there to make a show of it. So please join us tonight. If we finish up, we have Raid Team 5 and Raid Team 1's Scarab Lord designees that could use the help. So it is an impromptu rum night Friday on a Tuesday, Moon. You're absolutely right about that. So I've already got my calendar cleared from midnight till 5 a.m. to see the bug farm go hard. So, oh, it is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. You're right. It is Wednesday. Yeah, the Scarab Lord's been a lot, folks. I'm all mixed up. But having said that, please, if you're going to be around, if you're not in a raid team tonight, if you're on raid team 2 or 3, or a bench that doesn't have a spot, or somebody who doesn't have a raid team yet, please head out to Silithus. Don't wait for us, but I will catch you there at midnight. So, looking forward to it. All right, next This was part of last month, but the merchandise continues. It's been really cool seeing people who have been representing the guild swag and sending in pictures. To date, no one has unseated Z-Talk as my favorite submission picture. I'd ask if you do purchase anything. If you do get some of the guild swag, please post a picture of it. It'd be great to see representing as you're out in the world. I know Krimdar's been enjoying his morning coffee on the deck. It looks like with his Adept Scholar Society mug. So we got that picture in there. It's been very cool to see. Um, and now we're getting into this is actually going to be a new one for our guild meeting. This next portion we're going to kind of share some information from some of our members, which we haven't really done, but I think it's really important with this size and scale of a community that we support each other in more ways than just World of Warcraft, and so I'm actually kind of excited to add this section in. So we have two creative members of the Scholar Society who one of them I actually got to participate in the creative process for, and then the other sent some information to us to share with you all about his most recent project. So we'll get into that. First one is it's a bit of a scholarly podcast. So Raid Team 5's own Cenarian, the hunter in Raid Team 5 that some of you might have met out in the Bug Farm, runs a weekly World of Warcraft podcast. And he actually invited me on to do an interview with him that aired, I think, on Tuesday, so yesterday. That's out, and so you can catch his podcast on his YouTube. You can catch our interview that we did yesterday. It was a lot of fun getting to talk to him about the guild and kind of the wider world of WoW outside of the guild. But he does an excellent job, puts on a great show, and I'm going to post links and the blurb that he sent to me in the announcements channel just after this meeting. So if you guys head over to his YouTube channel, subscribe wherever you get your podcast to. I think the Azeroth United Pod website here is a link tree that you can see all the places he's available on. But he does a great show, and so we do want to try and send as much traffic his way for this. It was fun to be a part of, and it's informative, and it's not all WoW Classic. So yeah, information from retail, Blizzard, what they're doing, events and stuff like that. So definitely check them out. And thank you for having me on again, Snarn. It was a blast. The next person that is a scholarly book here. We've got Galen on Raid Team 3 has just authored a book. It's I think a fantasy little sci-fi book that he had published, and he's offering us free access to an early access release of his book for free for Scholar Society members, and so I wanted to offer you all the occasion to be able to download that. So again, same as with Cenarian, we're gonna be sure to put up a link in a blurb from Galen in order to see some traffic hopefully go to his book as well. And you guys can, if you'd like to read it, give it a try, maybe review it for him and help him out. So we congratulate you on publishing that. That's also a tremendous accomplishment. So well done. I'm giving you a moment for praise as I clear my throat here. So excuse me for 1 second, guys, and then we'll get into the raid portion. Yeah, Kikio just made an interesting comment. Raid Team 1 has a long-standing tradition that during our raid night, Waka will read our team a section of 50 Shades of Grey. So maybe in the next few weeks we'll have him read a section out of Galen's book instead for our raid night. So Waka might have some new material to go through there. So that might be nice. Oh no, not before raid or after. During raid. Waka reads it during raid. All right, so now we get into the rating basics. A couple of things for those who are new, may not know. So here are our 5 raid teams' schedules. I think as of the last meeting, raid team 3's schedule has shifted from 9:30 to 9. So now all of our teams are normalized across all 5 raid teams. Keeping in mind that invites go out 15 minutes ahead of time, and polls start at 9, which we will hopefully stick to. I'm doing good on time, folks. I think we're going to make it tonight. Raid add-ons, as always, have not changed, with the exception of Gargle's addition a couple months ago with ZG. So remember, it's GTFO for alert sounds, DBM for calls, Threat Classic 2 or some acceptable alternative to that, and then RC Loot Council is a non-negotiable. If you want to be able to get loot out of a run with us, you must have RC Loot Council, and then Gargle is also required for loot for our 20-man. So if you do plan on running a ZG or an AQ20 with us, then you'll need to utilize Gargle in order to get loot from those as well. I know I had mentioned this in passing, and yes, as Carlinton mentions, please keep them up to date. I know I had mentioned in passing, though, about the AQ manuals that are up there. These are published and available in the server guide under the Links, Apps, and Resources page now. Please take every opportunity between now and next week as we look to move into AQ, and the gates will be open as the Scarab Lord draws to an end. Please look through these manuals. So they are both in one document. If you go there, when you go there, you'll be able to see first the AQ40 content, followed by the AQ20 content. They're all in that doc. We did make that doc night mode for this phase launch, which I think is more helpful to those who keep this up on a computer screen from being blinded. If you need a white background or black text on white background version for an accessibility reason, please reach out. I can make a copy of that available to you, but the copy up there is the night mode right now. With the new phase launch, we do have some updates to a few things. Obviously, nature resistance. We're trying to get our melee and hunters to 150. Obviously, the crafting availability depend on what the guild bank has. We weren't able to, just with the later release of some of the patterns, create a kind of a consolidated effort as we had hoped to initially for people to get their NR gear. But there are plenty of resources that have been shared out in the announcements pages. There are plenty of people working on this. So please just utilize the resources of the people around you who are going to be doing the shared experience of trying to get our NR gear. For advice or help if you need to. Carlinton's absolutely right. Moradin is the place to go for that. Dianuwu says, "Don't be a dummy and accidentally throw away nature gear like me. Keep in mind that depending on the time that's passed, you will be able to item recover a lot of that. So keep that in mind. If you think you might have had an NR piece that you ditched, try and see if you can get it back." But yes, that is something that is really important. We will have nature resist pots as part of the weekly dues. Right now, I think I'd mentioned this at one point previously. The current quantity of consumables going to raid teams every week will be 2 Titans flasks, 60 nature resistance potions, and 30 frost oils. So that'll be the per team allocation from the guild bank per team. So we're going to be running at about a 1,700 gold deficit for the first few weeks of AQ, we anticipate, and we might revisit those, but that'll be all of the consumables that your raid team will be getting week in and week out for the first few weeks of AQ to try and get us through the progression. That'll buy you a little bit of time to have those NR pots, but they will not do everything you need. So do not rely on them, and please be working to get the NR gear as time goes here. The warriors, rogues, and hunters Those of you who are still looking for your Cold Rage daggers, I'm just reminding you this announcement when it went out in the raid announcements channel. We need for Viscidus to have frost weapon procs for you, hence the frost oil. But this is going to work with the Cold Rage daggers and then the Hammer of the Northern Winds. So if you can use maces, you can get one Cold Rage dagger from RFD. The farm's pretty simple. There's a lot of resources to learn how to do it. Once you have one dagger in your hand, all you need to do is reach out to Bear Dong with a full page screenshot showing the tooltip. Put your cursor over the item to show the item's tooltip, do a screen cap, and send that unedited to Bear Dong to show him you have it on you. And once you do, if you need a hammer, when you send that screenshot, requisition a hammer from him, as well as we are providing 2 Icy Chill enchants to your weapons. Okay, so when that goes out, you can also request the Icy Chill enchant for both of those weapons. Please send those all directly to Bear Dog. He is handling all of that. Nobody else is going to get a message and be able to help you except for Bear Dog. Waka is doing all of our enchanting for that on his mage, No More Time, who those of you in RT2 will be familiar with. If you're getting the enchants requisitioned, there are a few that he doesn't have mats for yet. We're getting those for him, but please be on the lookout for a DM from him to organize a time to get the enchants. He will be enchanting those for you, and then reporting back to Bear Dong to get them. If you're gonna get the enchantments yourself, for whatever reason, or you already have them, that's great too. But if you want to get them, you can also go to a lot of other enchanters in the guild. Some have them. I know mentioned Kikyo has that enchant as well. The bench raiders are not eligible for this. That's one caveat I did want to mention. Oh, we're going to go back a little bit. Sorry about that. Bench raiders are not immediately eligible for this. We need to make sure that all of our primary raiders are set, similarly to how we did this with the Nixia scale cloaks. And then once our raiders are set, we'll open this up to our bench program as well, to make sure that you guys have weapons and can be effective when you come in to help with new teams. So just keep that in mind. Bear Dog did just mention in text chat, to make sure everyone saw that please, when you reach out to him with your screen cap, to also mention what raid team you're a part of, just to help facilitate that administrative function that he's going to be going through. Bear Dog is the point person for this. If you have questions about any of the frost weapons, Cold Rage Dagger, Hammer of the Northern Winds, or the enchants for them, you're going to reach out directly to Bear Dog. Okay? Wonderful. All right. And then last thing on gear performance and buffs, we did update our minimum standards for this new content. So previously, Onyxia Head was the only buff that we required for our raiders. We are expanding that. You are now required to get the Zandalari heart buff, so if you gotta go to Beauty Bay to grab that one, Stormwind to grab the Onyxia head buff. Those are the two mandatory, as well as the weeks where Dark Moon Fair is there, to get the Dark Moon Fair buff. That'll either be in Mulgore or Elwyn. They vary month to month, but when those are there, those are also going to be required. DPS, just in particular, it's a 10% across the board damage increase for 2 hours. This is not for us about parsing. This is about allowing us to see as many people who have been with us from the beginning stick through this content, and using these buffs that are tremendous game changers, and allow us to put people through content in a reasonable amount of time and see it be an enjoyable experience. These are the highest impact requirements, but we also want to be measured in our approach to this, and not require this to be an extra job to hunt down buffs. And so we're cognizant of that as well. As I always say, the changes that we make will be determined based on what we're seeing on the ground and what we expect to see moving forward. So this may be subject to change as we go, for instance, into Nax, or perhaps if we're having some struggles across the board in AQ. I know many people already get these buffs regularly, so I appreciate that. All of you who do that and go above and beyond, it's huge. Especially the ones that will get DMT buffs or Songflower, or especially the incredible community and logistics that go into getting Ren done. So if you're curious about buffs, if you're buff curious, I really recommend you reach out in a depth chat, or to reach out to one of the professors, reach out to somebody who's up here with me on this stage, because they'll all be more than happy. Perhaps your class leaders too would be a really good opportunity to reach out to them, and please just ask them if you're interested in getting more information on how to get those buffs, what it actually will do for your performance in a raid. If you don't know how to get DMT buffs because you're not sure where you're supposed to run or what you're supposed to avoid in Dire Maul North, there's a video we can send you to show you the path to run. It'll cost you 10 gold to get there with a summons, and and includes the gold for the summons and the gold for the buff. It's 10 gold right now on the market generally. Sunflowers just the run up to Feralus, but it's just a matter of timing out the flower. You wouldn't wait more than usually you can time it, wait like between a minute and 10 minutes at most. Spellwood, not yeah, excuse me. I knew it was an F. And then the enchanting requirement's the only other a change that we've made to our lineup, where we do now require enchantments on all gear that is pre-raid or better. So if you're a new raider coming in and you've gotten your pre-raid mist from your dungeon grinds, make sure it's enchanted. And then similarly, as you've gotten gear from raid that you're putting on, please make sure that that's also enchanted. That does not include obviously items that you need for like from Primal Hikari idols. So obviously, if you haven't gotten an idol, there's absolutely no way we can require you to put an enchant on your helm. So that's okay. But please try and work to get those as we start up those ZGs again on the 25th. If you need help with materials, I can't offer that we can give you enchanting materials to every one of your enchants, but certainly some of the bigger ticket items we can help kind of defray the cost. Just put in a requisition with the guild bank. Word on that, I am with what's going on with Cast and the Scarab Lord. I am a bit behind, both replying to and giving answers to requisitions, as well as disseminating some. And so I appreciate if people could give me through the weekend to kind of get caught up on those. That would be a great help. So just to flag that on the requisition side. And this was up again on last. This was up on last month's slide, but just to remind people what the scheduling will look like. The left-hand side is going to be what your raid teams will do night to night. Every raid team runs 2 nights. Every raid team runs 3 hours per night. So this is what I anticipate being able to get through with those 6 hours. Especially now, raid team 5 has really been popping off. Is now able to do the trifecta in 1 night under time, and so it's been a pleasure to see them catch up with us as they started partway through this phase to begin with, and now are running at full speed with us here. So it's really impressive. Everybody else, your numbers have been remarkably sustained. RT3 went through the ringer there for a bit with some turnover, and shot right back up to its former glory. So like all of these things have been really impressive to see, and so I anticipate the raid team schedule will look much like it is on the left-hand side, but probably not for a couple of weeks as we get AQ content under tamed and under control. So I would anticipate AQ probably spilling into night 2 for the first week or two while teams are getting used to that, and then we'll start resuming the trifecta. Off night raids, so if you're not raiding, this will be what our raid coordinators and Minari's preceptor strategic planning will start working on, is figuring out the ZGs and AQ20s that'll be running on off nights, which the signups will be there for. Again, signups for ZGs will resume the 25th, canceled until the 25th, and then signups for AQ20, assuming that the war effort finishes tonight or tomorrow, it's looking good that we will see AQ20 first run being the 23rd, which I believe is Tuesday, or is that the Wednesday? Either way, it's the 23rd. I know the date. So that's everything that I've got for this evening. I think that covered. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Thanks, Hark. That's everything that I had planned for this evening, so we can put up our traditional. See, I forgot the dates. Damien's going to be all over me on this one too. The next meeting is not obviously this July 16th. The next meeting will be August. It will be August 20th. So we will look forward to seeing you on August 20th next. But let's do our Q&A. So as per usual, if you have questions, you can type it in the text chat and we will respond. If you want, you can also request to speak, and we can bring you up onto the stage to ask your question in person even. But if we don't have anything, then we'll just exit the meeting and start raiding even earlier than anticipated, which would be, I think, a first time in a long time if it's ever happened. There in the form, the AQ manual is available in the server guide. So you'll on the top left-hand side of your Discord, scroll all the way to the top, hit the server guide button, go to links, apps, and resources, and it's available as an HTML link to the Google Drive where you can download a PDF of the AQ manual for all of the fights. Okay, and then for going down the list, sorry, just reading through. I think for the AQ20, we're gonna probably go soft reserve on that, Kikyo. We're gonna put out the loot direction similar to how we did with ZG, where we had that big Excel file available for who rolls on what in the specific loot rules for that. We're gonna post that again for AQ20. If for no other reason than to help those who are helping with leadership of those runs, but that's definitely going to be the plan is to put out a very specific advisory on 20-person loot teams coming up. And then Cosmic asks about ZG and AQs. Do you need to sign up for them? Yes. So the only way to run in the guild with a to run a ZG or an AQ with the guild now is going to be to use the 20-man sign up channel and sign up for the event. A couple people have mentioned that a sign up had been locked. Here's the thing: if you want to run in one of these, the signups are locked 12 hours ahead of the run, because I need to figure out how many officers, in fact, better yet, Minari needs to be able to figure out how many officers need to be on to run that night in order to facilitate the group. So every group that runs, every 20 people that sign up, needs somebody who's capable of raid leading that team and doing loot distribution. So we need to make sure that those people are there and available, and then we also need to make sure that the teams are viable. And what we don't want to get into is a situation in which somebody puts in all the work to field these teams, and then 2 hours beforehand, we have 17 people who decide that they finally want to put their hand up to run, and now we have to on the fly change schedules and call in backup and all of that. And we're simply not going to do that. So going forward, if you want to run one of these signups, one of these bonus nights, the fact of the matter is that you will need to decide that up to the morning before, 12 hours before the run. Now, when the run comes, if some people don't show up, which, by the way, you should be calling out if you're not going to be available for the run, by the way, and if we see a spike in NCNSs from call-out sheets, we're going to have to kind of address that later on. But if you're available to run, there may be a need at time. But as far as dedicated spots and organization, the sign-up locks 12 hours ahead, so plan accordingly. We want to say welcome to Brogy. As you're joining in, it's a good time to get in, is with the monthly meeting. So welcome. Hopefully, we'll have you into the raids sooner than you think. But welcome to you. Alexandros, there's just you mentioned about the idea of making that early morning or early afternoon raid. There's a lot happening right now with all of these raids that we're running. I mean, weekly we're running, I think, 17 different raid sessions right now in the guild across the 5 teams, plus with the bonus signups, and that's a lot of RAM. If I have somebody in leadership who, after hearing the suggestion, wants to take point on it, we can kind of maybe have that conversation specifically. But as for immediately, it's probably not something we're going to look to do until we're at least well and stable and feel like we might have room for that expansion. Um, yeah, we'll need a Q bank or something like that to handle any influx like that for sure, because we're starting to hit capacity. Um, oh, I just ended my share. Apologies like about that. I didn't mean to end the PowerPoint, but that does seem to be the end of the questions that we have. So if that's the case, I'm happy to let everybody drop and have an earlier than usual end of the meeting. If anybody has any last minute questions to put in, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll pause it here. And I think all of our raiders will be very excited that they won't be rushing to start at 9 p.m. as we usually are on these guild meeting nights for Raid Team 1 in particular. I know everybody else is getting prepped over there. Low mark, yeah. So I think your question just on enchants, and by the time I answer this, if no further questions have come in, I will end the meeting. I'm not going to do another call for questions. I promise everybody. But if you have I think your question's best illustrated perhaps with the question about +3 stats to chest or +4 stats to chest, the cost value of those 2 enchants in particular. I think there are some enchants that are really affordable that you should be getting the top ones regardless. But I think if it's a question of a call like that, or if you're going to go with +3 or +4, I don't think any of our raid leaders are going to police necessarily that strictly. In particular, I should say, it actually reminds me, what I do not want to have happen with this new requirement, and what will not happen, in fact, I'm not going to give anyone the option, but what won't happen is anybody taking it upon themselves to enforce our enchantment policy that is not an assistant raid leader or a raid leader. It's not your job, it's not your business. So unless you're literally offering to pay for their enchant, so pay open trade and put X piece of gear in because I'll enchant it for you for free, you should be silent if you're not an assistant raid leader or a raid leader. So you're not going to get harassed about this, by the way, unless your leadership takes note. So don't make them have to track you down for enchants either. It's highly recommended. But the point of the enchants is that there are some really high value ones that are essentially like bonus pieces of gear by the time you enchant all of your items up. And so we don't want to leave that on the table for no particular reason. So just keep that in mind. Use your best judgment. Obviously, use the guild bank requisitions to do what you can to put on what you can. If it's a piece you're gonna get rid of immediately, if you're looking, I know like low mark for instance, you're a mage. If you're probably gonna be able to eat up an Arcanist piece. Maybe don't throw it on the blue you picked up. A +4 on the blue you picked up. Out of a pre-raid bis grind, but you could probably put +3 on and be pretty happy. And then war effort was where we're at. It was the only other one that we came in that I'll mention in particular. What's left for that? So the the Scarab Lord raid should not affect at this point any additional raid days. So raid team, obviously raid team 1, 4, and 5 run tonight. Raid team 4 will be saving its BWL lockout for Thursday to allow Stabby to get his run. Minari is taking Vayne Mage this evening to get his raid components set. Raid team Raid Team 1 is taking McMumbo to get his components set, and then either Raid Team 2 or 3 will take both are later in the week once his component for Scarab Lord is set. So there shouldn't be any effect to the lockout based on the Scarab Lord effort to get all of them set. There will be some more world farming required, to a much lesser extent than the fragments, and with some changes of the scenery that are very welcome to us all. But it'll be much more in line with the Tenderloin farm that we all did on phase launch night. So just keep an eye out for announcements that come out about that as we look ahead. So that's everything we got. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. I really do want to just say, please take some time to go out into Silithus, help farm these fragments. We really need a second wind and some reinforcements out there to help supplement the people who have been deep in this farm. So please join us out there, help the farm. Let's see 4 Scarab Lords complete, so that we can have this major an incredible guild accolade for all of us. So we appreciate that. Oh, Raid Team 4, it said, so this is where I also just realized I think it's Tuesday in my head still. Raid Team 4 is not running tonight. Raid Team 4 is running tomorrow, which is Thursday. So apologies about that, because I'm pretty sure I just said all 3 raid teams were running tonight, even though it is Tuesday. So please ignore that. It is Wednesday, in fact. So raid teams 1 and 5 are running after this. But I'm gonna go get some needed coffee apparently before raid time, and want to thank you all for everything. And we'll end it there. So thanks again, appreciate it, and we'll see you out in the world, but hopefully in Silithus.